Gunpowder Milkshake is coming to Netflix this Wednesday, and let me tell you, you're gonna have to check this one out because it's not just entertaining and awesome, it's one of my favorite action films of all of 2021, and it's just such a kick-ass time. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. My name is Zach. I am the Wolf of Geek Street, and if you guys love talking all sorts of geeky stuff, then this is seriously the channel for you guys. So make sure to comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. How excited are you for Gunpowder Milkshake? Have you even heard about it? Are you gonna go check it out now? Well, let's talk about it down there. Now, Gunpowder Milkshake is about a dangerous assassin who must now reunite with her mother and other lethal associates to take down a ruthless crime syndicate and its army of henchmen at the same time of protecting an 8-year-old girl. The film has the all-star cast of GILLAN, LENA HEADEY, Freya Allen, Michelle Yeoh, Angela Bassett, Paul Giamatti, Chloe Coleman, and CARLA GUGINO, who a lot of you guys have seen in such things like, of course, Haunting of Hill House, and most notably Gerald's Game as well. I went into this movie knowing it was probably going to be good, because again, the trailer looked like a lot of fun. I was needing a nice little action flair to it, but coming out of it, I was actually quite surprised by many different avenues, and one of the biggest things I was surprised by was the action set pieces alone, because each sequence and set piece honestly sets itself apart from the last in such a stylistic effort that you truly see everything happening on the camera, but the way that they play it inside its tone and vibrancy really much makes it all very memorable. And honestly, flat out wacky at times, which again goes to the vibe and the tone of this entire movie. Because yes, while there are some serious moments, this very much is just an entertaining action film with lots of layers to it when it comes down to the vibe of it. There's a lot of hilarious points. There's some wacky and bonkers things like, oh my god, they're seriously doing that? Wait, she just killed him like that? Seeing how those action sequences play out, again, make for such memorable set pieces. And one of the things that I really liked was this, with this all-star cast of ladies, each one of them gets a really good moment to stand out where you'll be like, okay, that's her moment. That's her moment, and I love that. This movie does not pull any punches. When I say that this movie is brutal, I mean it. You see every punch, stab, kick, gore, heads exploding, all sorts of that nature. This is seriously such an entertaining action film, and it fits so perfectly. It never goes away from the tone that it establishes within its first act. You very much understand the kind of play that it's here, and I'll even be honest, within the first 10 minutes, I was wondering how this film was going to play out, especially when it came down to the action. I always feel that Netflix films, or in general, just many action films in this era of filmmaking, some of them can be very hit or miss, like awesome action sequences, but also we get a lot that are very shaky and not understanding. But this movie really understood what it was going for and its vision, and I cannot emphasize enough, if you're just going into this for some awesome action sequences, you are in for such a delightful time. Even though the action is great, there's actually some other great things underneath the surface of it all, because like I've mentioned really much in the past, when it comes down to action films, there are 3 things that I look forward to it. The first thing being, you need awesome action, which check the box right there. The second thing you are needing is great characters, and here the characters you can root for. Karen Gillan proves once again that she is such a phenomenal actress who can really much, very versatile in what she's doing. She can be a badass lady, she can give that dramatic chop, she can also be comedic genius, and in here the character she plays has many layers to her because of her background. Not wanting to get into spoilers, but certain of the things that really much come into play down the road, while maybe predictable in certain instances, especially when it comes down to some of the story, the thing that I really dug about it was just sitting there being like, damn, like, she has a lot going for her, and I really dig that aspect. Her sarcastic nature and very much serious overtone to it really much fits in this tone, which again could have gone both ways, but somehow the director and writing in here really much felt that nice niche to it all. Of course, the third thing that I love about action movies, that if they get right, it can make for some of the best times, and that's the mythology, something that John Wick has been very well doing, is building up that world of the Continental, the assassin underworld. And for me, the thing of Gunpowder Milkshake is there is a lot of that mystery to this world, but a lot of nice elements to it that make me go, I hope we get a sequel because I want to explore more of that. Overall, there's this diner that she constantly goes through throughout the entire film, which kind of goes to the milkshake part of the whole entire movie, but that diner in general, There's so many fun avenues that how you can kind of play around in there, and just in general, the other characters and underworldly nature in here. There's a lot of things in here that I want to explore more of, but I like the mysterious aspect of it all, and I think it just sets up, if they were to do more sequels, great things, and if they happen not to, it's a really nice, satisfying action film just at that. You can check off all three of those things, you sell me. And overall, Gunpowder Milkshake, again, like I said, is one of the most entertaining movies you will see in 2021. Like I already mentioned, Karen Gillan absolutely kills and steals the entire show. She is the main front lead, but everyone else is great in here as well. LENA HEADEY, always amazing. CARLA GUGINO, always such a show-stopping talent. Michelle Yeoh, Angela Bassett, their names speak for themselves. They are also great. The young girl in here, Chloe Coleman, does a really excellent job as well, and I overall really dug her. When it comes down to the motivations between each character, I think that is where it kind of comes down to where it might divide some people. When it comes down to our heroes, very well done. When it comes down to the villains, very much one note, and I feel like that's the aspect that really much could have developed some stuff a little bit more. They're very much cliche Russian villains that, you know, you get their aspect of why they're going after them, but I feel like there was a lot more that could have been used there to really develop these characters, because there is a really interesting conversation that the main villain and our main hero have towards the end of the movie, and that conversation is really interesting, but I feel like if you would have rewritten it just in a couple of different ways, you could have given this villain a little bit more depth than it was, and he really doesn't come into play until later in the movie, and it's just waves of people that you need to kill. Also goes to my point that this film is a little bit predictable. I think when you do look at all the story beats, you kind of know how it's going to play from point A to point B, and I sat there kind of being able to predict it before it happened. Once again, this is just a flat-out fun action movie that has a great vibe and tone to it, great cinematography, amazing action set pieces and sequences, great performances, and overall a world that I truly enjoyed, and a movie that I thoroughly loved, to the point where I watched it one night, still had the screener, and watched it the next morning because I wanted that same adrenaline rush that I got the first time. Walked out once again having that same adrenaline rush. Gunpowder Milkshake is one of the most entertaining movies of 2021, and I will stand by that. I went into this movie expecting a good, fairly awesome action film, but got more than I was ready for, and I loved it. I love the characters in here, I love the performances, and while I wanted a little bit more from the story overall, and even especially the villain, I can't really down this film too much for those aspects because I had so much fun. If you are a fan of, say, John Wick or even Nobody from earlier this year, Gunpowder Milkshake is going to be right up your alley, and you are in for such a fun-ass time. So with all that said, I'm going to give Gunpowder Milkshake an A-. Once again, guys, for clicking on this, you guys are seriously all the best, and I cannot wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this movie. Let me know down below who your favorite actress in this movie is, and as well, make sure to head on over to Samtron Films on how to see films early, and of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So, of course, until next time, stay classy.